Manchester United is in an awkward position with bad choices regarding massive spending and memes about its players and stadium. The club has made its fans groan while making its haters roll in laughter. What is the backstory behind the failure of a club that used to hold a strong position? But before we explore Manchester United's laughable situation and answer the most asked queries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for more updates. Manchester United has been one of history's most well-known and victorious football clubs. It had one of the largest fan bases and millions of supporters. However, recent years have been quite tough on the club. It has faced many twists and turns, especially when the club failed to get expected wins. It embraced embarrassing comments and criticism and discussions and became a ridiculous situation for the world. Former Liverpool and Bayern defender Marcus Babbel has described the situation at Manchester United as laughable. He even added that United as a club seems confused. What led him to say such a bold statement? It was Manchester United's failure. Many factors contributed to their negative fame, such as inconsistent performances, recruitment strategy, managerial turmoil, and a lack of visionary leadership. Millions were invested in the players, but they couldn't play consistently, even against weaker opponents. Frequent managerial changes played an essential role in the failure, as each new manager brought a new philosophy and policy, and no consistency remained. The lack of strong leadership demoralized the players, and the club was unexpectedly kicked out of the cup competitions. The situation that has made the club a laughingstock is its lack of permanent leadership, which makes the position seem cursed. Since Sir Alex Ferguson departed Manchester United, the club has appointed 6 managers on a permanent or interim basis. One of them is Erik ten Hag, who initially seemed to be a good transfer, but ended poorly. He spent extravagantly signing new members, but the results were not as expected. He spent over £400 million in high-profile signings and received strong criticism from analysts and fans. The club could not even win the championship title despite this lavish spending. One of these signings was Mason Mount, which proved to be against all their hopes. Ruben Amor succeeded Erik ten Hag recently in November 2024 as Manchester United's head coach. He won the pride of winning his debut Manchester Derby for the first time since Sir Alex Ferguson, but at the same time by the home defeat of 3-0 to Bournemouth on December 23rd. This loss made the club land 13th place in the Premier League. This left Manchester United to celebrate Christmas Day in the league's bottom half. Amor himself described it as one of the lowest points in the club's history, but it would be pretty unfair to label his signing as insignificant, as his appointment hasn't been gone for so long and much higher can be expected from him soon. One of the signings that went against the club was Mason Mount. Mason Mount from Chelsea was signed in July 2023 for an initial fee of £55 million, which took the club's number 7 jersey, the prestigious one indeed. Since the beginning, his contributions to the club were limited because of his injuries. He missed many matches in August 2023, right after he entered the club. He played the ELF Cup in September vigilantly, but unfortunately remained out of sight for 4 months once again because of his injury. He returned to the team in March 2024 and scored his first goal for Manchester United, but the match was drawn against Brentford. Recently, he had a muscle injury that may keep him away from Manchester United for a long time. These injuries have limited his ability, and he couldn't show any significant impact on the team's performance, which did not justify the heavy amount spent for him from the club's budget. It seems like he messed up really badly. This led many to question his performance. Another wrong decision that left the club crying later on was Noussair Mazraoui. Noussair Mazraoui was transferred to Manchester United from Bayern Munich in August 2024 for an initial fee of £12.8 million plus £4.3 million in add-ons. He was brought in the correct back position to provide depth in competition, as he can play both as a right back and in midfield. His defensive positioning and work rate were praised in several matches. Unfortunately, he played a costly foul in a game that led to a penalty, which impacted the team's result. He received massive criticism for this and also for showing inconsistency in performance. His signing has demonstrated potential, but it's still too early to label him insignificant. He has to adapt fully and contribute regularly without critical mistakes to prove himself a valuable addition to the squad, otherwise he may lose his place in the club. Antony was another worst signing who failed to deliver the expected performance. He is the Brazilian winger signed for a massive fee of around £85 million in 2022 from Ajax for Manchester United, but because of his style of play, performance and on-pitch antics, he receives online criticism and has been the subject of memes because he hasn't met the expectations of the club and the fans' expectations. He lacks consistency and is quite famous for his dribbling skills. He exhibits step-overs, spins, and tricks during his game, but unfortunately, earns criticism for performing well when required. His left-footed right-wing curling strikes are eye-catching and have become his trademark, but this proved predictable for defenders. Memes were made on his style, describing his inability to use his right foot effectively. His performance, compared to his price tag, was highly criticized in 2023. He also had to face allegations of assault from his ex-girlfriend, which led to him temporarily stepping away from the squad. He denied the claims, but still, this led the club to a bad reputation. He is the kind of player who intentionally garners attention for his style and controversies, which make him the most talked about player at Manchester United. This kind of poor transfer decision earned Manchester United failure, causing its position to drop at Christmas in the Premier League era. Another thing that is making Manchester United a laughingstock is the mouse situation. Manchester United's Old Trafford Stadium has been discovered with mouse droppings, downgrading its rating from 4 stars to 2 out of 5. This mouse infestation issue has become the talk of the town. The main factors of this issue are the colder weather and mainly the stadium's location, which is quite near the Manchester Ship Canal and railway lines. That is really ridiculous for a name that is a global brand that prides itself on its legacy. Names have been created on this situation, showing the prestigious athletes preparing for high-profile matches amidst mice running around. This matter became comical, and the rivals took advantage of it. This underscoring brought them to the image that the management is not fulfilling the need for modernization at Old Trafford, and Manchester United's fan base had to face a lot of criticism. The club desperately needs to raise its standards and regain its lost reputation. The quality of food and visitor service should be improved to get 5 stars again. Old Trafford needs significant renovations and improved facilities for its visitors. It is heard that a plan for the 100,000-seat stadium is under discussion, which will cost over £2 billion in the near future. The iconic home of Manchester United has recently been re-rated from good to some improvement necessary. According to the club, about 250,000 people dine at the ground each season. Manchester United can undoubtedly regain its past glory, as it has a lot of potential. However, it requires strategic decisions, consistent performance, and of course, effective management. It is essential to hire a capable manager who can sort out these matters as vigilantly as possible, or there will be no chance of regaining pride. The club has a profound history of producing gem stars like David Beckham, George Best, Ryan Giggs, and many more, so the management should focus on signing and training the young and energetic blood. Once the club removes the stigma of inefficiency and incompetency from its reputation, Manchester United can rule the world again and regain the strength of a top-tier football club. Returning to their glory days demands the perfect addressing of its weaknesses. The situation of Manchester United is indeed critical. One more wrong move, and the club might collapse altogether. The situation has gained attention, and critics are nowhere near forgiving Manchester United for its lame decisions. Now, the club needs to tread very carefully to come back to a safe position, even if it can't restore its grandeur shortly. What do you say about that? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Stay tuned because more interesting videos are on their way. Thanks for watching.